What's going on, guys? Welcome back to today's video. We have some super exciting news and some super not so exciting news. The not so exciting news is that to get this set up right here, it's taken us 3 days. 3 days. So what we actually had happen. So these are the original bolts that came with the converter. So our what is it? Vigilante converter, and bolts were too short, so it will actually pull the stall back from the pump itself, that it is somewhat unsafe. So we went to the hardware store and we picked ourselves some new bolts, a little bit longer. We are gonna have to shim it. We looked it up on the forums, so we should be completely safe there as long as we fall within, what I say, 1/8 to 3/16 of clearance. So we have to make sure that we have proper washers slash shims, and we should be good to go. So what other problem we run into? We had like a crap ton of problems with this thing. We had
this
the
thing
bolt problem,
leak oil, so we had to get a cap for it
because we're freaking morons. Yeah, I forgot.
This is a lot of stuff.
This, guys, this will let you guys know how unexperienced and unprepared we are at certain things. So I just I didn't even think about it that there's a seal in the back. So I'm pouring fluid over here, right? I'm like, oh, we gotta put 10 to 12 quarts of fluid in this thing. I'm gonna start filling it up, so that way when we put it in the car, we don't have so many issues, because it's a tight space. So I'm like pouring it. Meanwhile, this thing is pouring out the back. I could have slapped myself in the face right there. Like, I just didn't think about it. There's a seal up front. It makes perfect sense. You know, that's how you seal up the fluid in the stall. So, luckily, like I said, caught it right away. I probably lost, like, I don't know. It was not a lot, but it could have been a lot worse. Imagine if I would have gone through like 6 quarts. I'm like, oh,
I've been like 50 bucks down the drain.
No, seriously. So yeah, we got this plug. Works great. I actually tilted the transmission back like a significant amount, and none of it leaked. So we just have to make sure not to like kick this thing or anything, but just so we don't like warp that seal. So what we are gonna do is, like I said, shim this. All of our flywheel bolts are torqued. Yep. And we put some thread locker on that stuff.
All these bell
housing bolts are ready to go. So yeah. So in the meantime, you might see us cleaning here and there, because take a look at this place, Justin. Go show them around that corner. Show them everything.
There's tools all over the floor. This is a sander, welder all over the place. You can't put anything on the table anywhere.
Yep. Just don't show any addresses. This is our goddamn habitat right now.
Yeah.
That's bad. It's real bad. Check this out, guys. Look at this. Yep. Well, that's a transmission you see back there. We finally got her in. And also, what else is missing from down there? No sway bar. So in order to get this thing in, we ended up removing the sway bar just to get some clearance. It will fit back on, but to put it in as a, I guess with a transmission bolted onto the engine itself, it wouldn't clear. So we had to get rid of that. The other thing too, I guess since we're the first, I think, with a 4L60 using the Sikky mounts. As for the Sikky mounts, as advertised on their website, the 4L60 does not fit. So, well, they say it does, but it really doesn't. So we actually had to do some modifications here and there. So first thing you'll notice is this spacer. It's not centered directly under the engine mount, but this spacer is required not necessarily to get the 4L60 to fit, but to use this different oil pan. So I didn't want to fork over a bunch of money, and that solution works with This is maybe a 1/4 inch.
Yeah, about a 1/4 inch.
So a 1/4 inch spacer. We are gonna have to get slightly longer bolts, so we don't wanna shear those off or, you know, strip those or whatever. So we are gonna get longer bolts. Now at our steering rack, that was our closest point. We have about a 1/4 inch of space there. So before it was slightly touching, I could slide an envelope in there, which is extremely close. So we added those and now we're good to go. Transmission mounts, not so good. So these side pieces, they won't work at all. So the positioning and with how narrow the tunnel is, you have to widen it a significant amount. And where you have to massage that area, it just happens to be where these get mounted on the side. So now the tunnel used to be like this, right? Now it's more like that. So these brackets won't reach the center bracket that mounts directly on the transmission. So unfortunately, we don't have a lift, so we really can't show you guys yet, but I think we're probably gonna climb underneath the car and give you guys an idea of what we're talking about. So extremely happy though that this is in as one piece.
Yeah, I agree.
Huge milestone. I think from here, I don't want to jinx myself. I've said this several times throughout several months.
Yep.
To be smooth sailing. So final piece of the puzzle today, guys. We gotta either customize these and or scrap them and make our own. I don't know. So, all right, just bringing you guys up to speed here. So as I mentioned earlier, here's the transmission mounts that we can't use because they don't work. So I've already started modifying one of them and I got it tack welded. So this is the first piece of steel that I've actually worked with in terms of welding. So there it is. So there it is. So as you guys can see, the mounting point is a lot lower than it is on this one. We've actually inverted the bracket that is mounted directly on the transmission. So that's why it's a little bit, well, I guess not a little bit, it's probably like 2 inches lower.
There it is, guys. Check this thing out. So got my gusset in here. So added that in and check inside of this corner. So I managed to get in there. Got my beads over here all the way down. And then same thing all the way up and around. And you guys already saw this side, so came out perfect. So all we have to do now is clean all this junk ass paint and the powder coating, and then get our holes drilled, marked, and then repaint.
We are on like day 4 of this single episode, but check this out. Almost look original, huh? Got these nice and painted. So as you guys can see, we got our little platform lowered on this one. Got our gusset with our crappy weld right there. And that's probably the worst weld on both of these brackets. So I progressively got better at it. You can see that this one has still has some penetration, but it's very, very bumpy looking. This one, a little bit better. Nice and clean. I grinded these off because this actually has to sit flush with the body under the car. And there's the backside. Look at that one. Oh yeah, way better. This one came out a little thin, and I think on this one I was only using like, I think like 110 or 120 amps, which wasn't a lot. And that's why it's so thin and it's almost elevated on the material. So but overall should be okay because I welded both sides. And yeah, so extremely happy with how these came out. And now I think what we're gonna do is we're gonna crawl underneath the car and actually drill the holes for this one. So we plan on utilizing this bolt hole, this one, and that one, just to provide some support up front. So I think we should be completely okay with that. Check it out, guys. Look at this, man. These brackets came out awesome. Extremely proud of them. This is like my first, I keep saying every job is my first official weld job, but I already did those aluminum bungs.
First
I did.
official steel
Yeah,
job.
steel. Yup, exactly. So modified the brackets, and as you can see, this one's extremely robust. Got 3 bolts down here, and this is where the transmission tunnel gets a little bit wider. So that was no longer a, I guess you could say, a valid mounting point. So that wasn't gonna work. So that's why we have 3 down here and this elongated bracket with a gusset right there, and everything looks killer. So I am extremely confident that this transmission is gonna be pretty damn solid, dude.
I agree.
I think that's pretty much gonna wrap this chapter up. But man, cannot stop looking at it. It feels really good to be able to do this shit at home.
Yeah, seriously.
Not gonna lie. Even the finish. Check the finish out. This is our paint job, and that is Sicky's paint job. I mean, Sikky. Good. Extremely happy with the results, guys. Again, thank you guys for watching. Please subscribe, please like, do all that good stuff, and we'll catch you guys on the next episode.